Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're hopping into Heavenly Demon, Revolutionary Army 1, WhiteBeard, and Eneru with a mono quick one team beats all Garp's challenges 10-star events. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's video against the same events using mono int, I had completed it with all of the colors but quick, but today managed to get it done while I was at work on my lunch break and stuff like that, and the team worked very, very well. So we are using mono quick, which is a lot harder than mono int, and we are using my boy Shanks crew as a leader. Now you guys know how amazing this guy is. 4.5 rainbow captain, end of turn damage, removes special bind, he switch ability to 1.5 times attack boost, as well as adjacent orbs matching. He's just an absolute god, and you know that I was definitely bringing him as my leader for this quick challenge. Now the downside to quick that I found compared to all the other colors was they don't really have a very solid quick leader. They do have Smoker, which is good, I guess, but he's just not like a go-to. And Sugar can be very finicky to build, but we are using Sugar for 3 of these particular runs, and I am using Komurasaki for the Doffy one. I had to include Komurasaki somewhere, as she's just definitely the most underrated unit. But if you guys don't think that that's one team completes all, I do understand where you're coming from, but in my eyes, the one team completes all is the team that you guys actually build yourself. The friend captain, honestly, like, if you're going to use that argument that one team doesn't build all, then you could probably say that free-to-play teams using a friend captain that's not free-to-play, that's the same argument, in my eyes anyway. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and if while you're down there, make sure to belt that like button too, and if you're new, consider subscribing today, because, you know, why not? It's just a click and it's free. Just you know, do it. Support your boy. Appreciate you guys. Much love. So, Shanks Crew's our leader. Next, we got our God tier rare recruit Bobbins. He removes 5 turns of damage reduction, defense up, and threshold. And he removes attack down, which isn't really essential. But he also makes adjacent orbs matching. The main reason he's here is for his damage reduction removal, though. That is the big upside to him. Next, we have our girl Sugar as a sub. I love using Sugar as a sub, and the fact that this whole sub is less than 40 cost means that using a friend Sugar works very, very well. Sugar is just absolutely amazing for the Revolutionary Army fight, as we do get our captains binded. But she's also amazing for getting around the stun that is on the Enel stage as well. Next, we have Rare Recruit Sengoku. This guy's an absolute monster. The main reason he's here, he removes attack down, but he also removes Despair, which is great for the Doffy fight, as well as making recovery and T&D orb slots matching. Now, the big thing with Sengoku too is we can use the limited Rare Recruit Akainu to get a 2.75 times chain lock. He's very, very good every time we use Sengoku's special for the first time, so that way we can not only get an orb boost, we can also get a chain lock. Next, we have the free-to-play Moria. This guy's awesome, as he removes paralysis and attack down, which is really, really good against Marco and Vista on the WhiteBeard stage, but it's also amazing against Doffy 1, as he can remove paralysis. He also does 1,000 damage to all enemies, so when we actually come up against Treble, he can kill the fodder units in the back as well without taking all that damage, which is amazing. The big thing about Moria too is we can actually use the Rare Recruit Kuma as a support to remove 5 turns of Despair, which means that we don't have to store back for our Sengoku special on the Doffy 1 stage, and we can just remove Despair for 5 turns, which is absolutely incredible. The rest of the subs or supports are stat boosters, and the ship is the Liberal Hind for the extra healing, as well as a nice juicy 1.6 times attack boost. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, I do use Komurasaki against Doffy 1 and then Sugar against the rest. If you guys disagree with that being the one team, there's not all whatever, let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. But this team managed to get all of them done. It is a little bit hit or miss, as all these characters are rainbowed, but as I mentioned, quick was by far the hardest for all of these challenges. But if you guys have some other team comps, I would love to see them, so consider joining our Discord. Let me know over there, or let me know if you guys have another team in the comment section below. But that's enough about the team, guys. Let's hop in. Alright, homies, so first of all, we're here at Heavenly Demon 1, and in the first team, I'm actually using Komurasaki as my friend captain. For the rest of the teams, I am using Sugar, but I really wanted to include Komurasaki in this clip, as she's easily one of the most underrated legends in the game, and I want to include her somewhere in this video. You can actually beat this with a Sugar friend captain, as I use for the rest of the teams, but like I said, I just really wanted to include Komurasaki in here, especially against Heavenly Demon 1, because it's just a little bit safer. It makes life a little bit easier getting around most of the stalling, to be honest, with her healing, her damage reduction. It works very, very well. But For the rest of the teams, like I said, I am using Sugar, and for Revolutionary Army 1, it's pretty much essential you bring Sugar, but we'll get to that when we get to the Revolutionary Army 1 clip. So, on stage 2, we come up against the vacuum cleaner lady chick. I don't know her name. I'm not even going to try. So, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to use our Sugar special, but we're going to keep Bobbins as Bobbins. We're not going to turn Bobbins into a bear, as we are going to need his special on the next turn against Rebecca. But, in saying that as well, turning everyone into bears on that particular stage probably wasn't the greatest move. You could use like Komurasaki's special. You basically just want to get rid of the vacuum cleaner lady chick as quickly as possible. So on the second stage against Rebecca, we are going to use our Bobbin special to remove the defense up, and then we're going to let the bears sort of do the rest of the work. But unfortunately, as you'll see here, we don't have enough damage to actually take Rebecca out, so we are going to need to remove the paralysis anyway. So like I said, using the bears against the vacuum cleaner chick wasn't exactly the greatest move, but because of Komurasaki's tankiness, her healing, Shanks, who has lots of tankiness as well, we can actually get by. Now, on the second turn against Rebecca, when she puts up the nullified damage from pretty much every color besides strength, you'll see that I am still hitting my perfects. And the reason that I am actually doing that is because I just want that healing effect from Komurasaki, as she gives like half of her, like 0.5 of her recovery per perfect. And that way we can just get a little bit healing back. It makes tanking damage a little bit nicer in the later stages. As when we get to like the Dressrosa stage, it can be a little bit finicky with the the hit counters. Well, not the hit counters, the number of like turns they turn like to attack. So here we are on the Dressrosa stage. Now, on this particular stage, we are going to use Komurasaki's special, but I actually used the switchability of Shanks Crew first. So I've only got a 1.5 times attack boost, and as you'll see, with Komurasaki's special live, as well as like not even having the 2 times attack, we can actually just like destroy 3 of the units very, very easily. So if you guys use the Komurasaki special properly and not like a spoon like I did, you could very easily kill more than 3 of them, but you don't want to kill all of them, as we are going to stall a little bit here. I think I stall on Hack, as Hack had a nice cooldown, but stalling on Hack, or I think it's Dogama, I think his name is, or Dogma, in the back left-hand corner next to King Punch, you can easily stall on him as well. Arguably, stalling on Dogma or Dogama, or whatever his name is a little bit better, as he does less damage, but then again, Hack is on a 2-turn cooldown, so stalling on him is not the end of the world either. Make sure you do kill King Punch before he does attack, though. If you don't kill King Punch, he is just going to basically destroy you with his 1-punch special. So make sure you take him out once that attack up goes up. Otherwise, he is going to hit you very, very hard. Now, remember that when you are Shanks as well, that you aren't getting an attack buff. So you can actually use this in your favor, as well as in, like, obviously being a negative, as he's not getting a buff from Komurasaki, which means when you attack with him and hit a perfect, you can get healing without doing too much damage where it is necessary. But most of the time, you do want to be crew, as they do have damage reduction when you are stalling as well as being able to get that buff from Komurasaki. So now that we've stored a little bit on Hack just to get our specials back, mainly you just want the special of Moria to come back, as we do need the paralysis reduction once again. Now, as you saw in the beginning, you do want to make sure that you do have Kuma on your Moria. That way you can remove one of the despair turns, and then you can use the special of Sengoku on the Bardo stage to remove the next lot of despair. So we do get despaired by Bardo for 4 turns, or 7 after sockets, it goes down to 4. That way we can use our Sengoku special, and with the support of the limited rare recruit Akainu, we can get the 2.75 times chain lock. Now, you do want to attack with characters that do have hit counters. Now, I did miss my perfect there, so I did lose a hit counter, but it doesn't matter too much, as you can't really kill Bardo on the first turn regardless. He's going to hit us pretty hard, but with the damage reduction that Komurasaki does provide, the healing as well as the damage reduction from Shanks' crew, they very, very easily let us tank the shot from Bardo. Now, I actually ate that meat orb thinking that would be the smart move, but as you'll see here, I actually stuff all of my tap timing up, and we don't actually kill Bardo. So we do tank another shot, and that just shows how amazing Komurasaki is at actually tanking for quick units. Quick sort of struggles a lot with some very good leaders, and Komurasaki just gets blown under the rug. She's solid 4 times leader. She has in orbs matching for her team. She boosts 2 colors, healing, damage reduction. She does a lot for a character, and she's very, very good. Again, very, very underrated. So once we get to the next stage, we come up against Treble with 3 of his units in the back, and this is where the special of Moria is amazing because he not only removes the paralysis, but he actually kills the 3 units in the back. Now, the 3 units in the back, they're the ones that do most of the damage, and you really want to get rid of them because they can hit you for like 30-something K, and this team doesn't even have that much HP, so you do need to be very, very careful here, but using that Moria special works very, very well, as we can just wipe the guys in the back, and then take the 3 turns on treble to take him out. Hitting those perfects every single turn, as well, or every single, like, tap time as well, is very, very handy, as not only we do need to do a lot of damage to treble as he has a solid HP pool, but as you'll see, we can just make our way up and up and up with our HP pool. So hitting those perfects not only obviously does lots of damage to treble, but it gives us back a lot of HP as well. With the little behind giving that extra 1,000 as well as auto heal as well, makes life very, very good for this particular team. So on the final stage, when we come up against Doffy and a whole bunch of just random like knick-knack units, if you can be crew when you move into this stage, it will work in your favor, as the character in the like back right hand corner will actually run away and give you like quick characters like have no color affinity, which means that we can just do neutral damage to Doffy. But it's not that big of a deal if you don't. It just means that you will do a little bit less damage to Doffy with your quick units, and it means you have to take that unit out, as she can hit very, very hard. Now, the units next to Doffy only have like 5 HP, so that is something to note, that you do sort of want to take them out as they hit you very, very hard. But with Shanks' crew's special, as we use that on the first turn, we can just use his end of turn damage to pretty much blow all the characters away except for those 2 characters in the back. So that's why being crew is just very, very handy. And then when you use the sugar special, you can just let the bears do the rest of the work and take out Doffy easy clap. So that was the Heavenly Demon 1 run. That was with Komurasaki. As I mentioned, you can do it with sugar, as you'll see in the rest of the teams. And if you don't think that that's one team beats them all, then fair enough, all good. But in my eyes, keeping the same team that you built is the way to sort of label this particular video, I guess. So on the next stage against Revolutionary Army 1, we are using a friend captain, Sugar. Now, Sugar is an amazing leader, as well as an amazing unit with her like toy burn mechanic, but using her as a captain can be very, very finicky. Now, with this particular team that I have built, all of our subs are actually under 40 cost, or 40 cost or below, besides obviously Shanks' crew as our leader. So we actually get the full 4.5 times buff from the friend captain, Sugar. It works very, very well. That way we also get the 3 times captain for our Shanks when we're not in, Shanks and Shanks' crew, besides being the 4 times captain with Komurasaki, but it means that we have to be a little bit more finicky with our team building. So on the second stage against Kuma, we are going to use the special of Shanks' crew just to take him out in 1 turn. We can get the carryover effect of the 3.5 times chain lock, and then on the second turn against Robin and all of the fodder girls, we can actually use our Sugar special as our captains get binded. Now with this particular team, we actually don't have a way around bind, but with Sugar's amazing special, turning everyone into bears means that we can actually ignore the bind that gets inflicted to our captains. Now, there is other ways around this, but with this particular Garp's challenge, we do get binded again on the second last stage, so that's why bringing a friend Sugar works very, very well. Now, I did try and use just my Sugar special twice and have her not in the bottom right, but I just couldn't stall out enough and take enough damage to get my Sugar special back, even with Komurasaki as a captain. Now, I do think it is doable, but you do sort of need to be very finicky with the runs, and just doing it this way was a lot quicker, and honestly, it was actually a lot safer as well. So, on stage 4 now, we come up against Ivankov and Inuyasuma. They are going to blow away one of your middle row characters, which is fairly annoying, but it's not exactly too drastic, as we are just going to take a turn to get our characters back, and then use our Sengoku special to make recovery and T&D orbs matching, give us a 2 times orb boost, and give us that chain lock that Akainu as a support can provide as well. On the next stage, when we come up against Morley and Bello Betty, this is where things can get a little bit shaky, as Bello Betty has an attack up, and she attacks every turn. Morley has a barrier, which is fairly annoying on turn 1, but it is only a 1-turn barrier, and then he attacks every 3 turns. Now, he will kill you when he attacks, like 100%. He hits so damn hard, but because he's on a 3-turn cooldown, it's not that drastic, as we can sort of slowly make our way through his HP pool. We just need to be mindful of our HP when Bello Betty is hitting us, as with the Bello Betty shot, she is hitting us not hard, but like she's hitting us, like we're definitely feeling the shots. For like 13k for this team, that's like 1/3 of our health. It can be a little bit problematic, as we do need to take her out before that 3rd turn. Otherwise, she's going to get us either very, very low, or she's actually just going to wipe us. So we are going to make sure that we kill Morley before he does attack. Belabella doesn't have too much HP, which is great. And then we can just wipe her out and move on to stage 6. Against stage 6, we come up against Morley and Carousel. They give us a full bit of block obs and they bind our right-hand side, this is where bringing the friend Sugar is absolutely essential. Now, this particular run does revolve a little bit on RNG, but if you do have your characters rainbowed and cotton candy like very heavily, taking out Lindbergh isn't overly hard. We do want to make sure that we do take out Lindbergh. Unfortunately, because he's a dex unit, as you'll see with those block obs, we do not hit him very hard. But as you can see with my team, I actually only had 3 matching orbs. And then using the Sugar super typing, we can actually kill Lindbergh with that 2.25 orb boost that Sugar does provide. Now, unfortunately, we're just shy of killing Carousel. But with just hitting with Sugar on that next turn, we can kill him. If he doesn't die after 2 turns, he does special bind us. But obviously with Shanks crew as our captain, like that just does not matter to us one little bit. So moving on to the final stage against Sabo and Koala. Now they do give us 3 turns of burn. And they do give us a 50% HP cut. But because we have sort of stalled out till the end here to get our Sugar special back, we can switch with our Shanks crew, get the 1.5 times attack, use their special for a 3.5 times chain lock as well as a 4.5 times captain. And then we can use our Bobbin special to guarantee us a full board of orb, not a full board, at least half a board of orbs. Finish off with our Sugar special, turn everyone into bears. And that way, we don't even have to worry about the burn. The burn to us, it don't exist. We can just hit our hobbies, destroy Sabo Koala, and then that way on the res, we can just do the same thing, tap with Sugar, finish them off, easy peasy, no issues whatsoever. So that was Revolutionary Army 1 with Sugar Friend Captain. Worked very, very well, and as I mentioned, bringing a Friend Sugar Captain is pretty much required for that particular run and this particular team. Alright, so on to WhiteBeard now. Once again, we are using a Sugar Friend Captain. Sugar as a Friend Captain is very, very good because not only does she provide super typing for pretty much our entire team, well, our whole team when you are not in Shanks' just Shanks form, but the bear effect can be very, very handy to get around nasty defects. Mainly for bind is the big one and paralysis, but also getting around burn as well. So against WhiteBeard, WhiteBeard for me was actually probably one of the trickiest actually, as it was a lot more finicky in sort of using like when to use particular specials. With Revolutionary Army and Doffy, I could sort of just like chop and change when I wanted to use my specials, and you could kind of do it in a different, like in a little bit of an easier way. But against WhiteBeard, it just became a little bit tricky, mainly because of the Marco and Vista stage. That was the big sort of stage for me that sort of like I had the most trouble with. But this team still managed to do it. And they still managed to do it fairly comfortably when you sort of understood what was going on. So on stage 2, we come up against Mr. Watermelon Headman. He is going to give us 3 turns of attack down, and he does a HP cut. It's like a quarter of your HP, I think it is, whatever your like standard HP is, not like your max HP, but like your standard what you're sitting at. So he's going to remove that HP, give us those 3 turns of attack down, but we are going to remove that with our Sengoku special, and then we can use the obviously the Akainu support for the chain lock and the switchability of Shanks crew to get a 1.5 times attack boost. Now with all that, you can just attack with the characters next to Shanks and then use Shanks to finish it off to guarantee yourself basically a full board of orbs on the next turn against Higuma, Atmos, and Mr. Chainball guy. And with that switchability of Shanks crew, we can get a 1.5 times chain lock. Sorry, 1.5 times attack boost. Finish off Atmos as we do have color affinity, and make sure we kill Higuma in the front. Now, Atmos is going to give us a recovery bind debuff, which we can remove with limit break, but the main character you want to kill here is actually Higuma in the front, as he does most of the damage. He does double attacks, which can do up to like 12k, I think, just with him. But on the second turn, we can finish off the Chainball guy. And if you don't have limit break for this team, which I would highly recommend, otherwise this is probably not doable with the same team. As I mentioned in the beginning, quick for me was by far the hardest. But if you don't have that max limit break, you can make sure that you kill Atmos as well, as we do have color affinity. On the next stage against Fossa, Speed, Jiro, and Iso, depending on what hit counter you get is dependent on what you need to do on this particular stage. Now, Fossa can actually have a 4, 3, or 2 turn cooldown. Speed, Jiro only has 1, and Iso only has 1 as well. So you do need to be careful here what you actually do. So we do want to make sure that we do take out Speed Gear on the first turn, so that way we don't take a shot here. Now, we can actually take a shot from Iso, but it is very, very close. So we are going to take a shot from ESO, and if you don't have, if you're on like the 2 or 3 turn cooldown here, I would highly recommend throwing all of these attack at Fossa, especially if you're on the 2 turn cooldown. You definitely want to take him out ASAP, as if he attacks you as well, you are going to die. Now, you do have color if you're against Fossa, so you can take him out very, very easily, but as you can see there, ESO hits us very, very, very hard, so trying to get him out of the way as well is the way to go. But normally with this particular team, as we do have a mono quick team, we are going to be taking that shot from our boy ESO regardless. So lucky for me, I did get the 4 turn cooldown, but if I didn't on this particular turn here, I would be attacking Fossa. As you can see there, like just with Sugar, we hit for like well over half his HP. So you can easily take him out, but just be mindful of how much damage that ESO does, because he hits really, really hard. Any meat orbs you guys see along the way too, make sure you are gobbling them up. Recovery obviously is RNG based, but once when it's in your favor, it is one of the most overpowered mechanics in the entire game. Just look at Luffy, Sanji, like they can do some wild things. Alright, so we're back after that little stuff up by using Moria's special. Definitely did not mean to do that. So against Josie, he puts up 3 turns of damage reduction defense up, and this is where we're going to use the switch ability of Shanks crew to get ourselves a 1.5 times attack. We can use Bobbin's special to remove the defense up and damage reduction, as well as using the Shanks crew special for the 3.5 times chain lock. Now, the big reason we want to use Shanks crew special here is that way we can carry the 3.5 times chain lock into the next stage against Vista and Marco, and that way we can't actually get the chain lock that they would normally apply on this particular stage. When Josu dies, he gives us 3 turns of normal attacks only, and when we come into this stage against Marco and Vista, they give us 3 turns of paralysis, attack down, and they would normally give 3 turns of chain lock. But because we have our own chain lock already active, they can't actually give it to us, as chain lock in the game it's not seen as a positive or a negative debuff. So it's very, very handy, as we can actually just keep that 3.5 times chain lock. We can use our sugar special, the sub sugar, to make sure that we get a nice big attack buff against our boy Marco, as well as actually taking Vista down to a much lower HP. If you don't kill Marco and Vista will hit you for like 32k, which is very, very detrimental, as this particular team doesn't have all that much HP. So killing Marco is very, very important, and then taking out Vista on the next turn is easy peasy. On the final stage, when we come up against Ace and WhiteBeard, they are going to special bind our top and bottom row, but our top and bottom row both have slot bind removal with their amazing limit breaks. They're going to wipe all of our debuffs, and then they do end of turn damage. So Ace is on a 1 turn cooldown, WhiteBeard's on a 2 turn cooldown. We can use the switch ability of our Shanks crew to give us a 1.5 times attack boost, and then we can actually use the special of Sengoku to make recovery and TND orbs matching, as well as getting an orb buff. Now, I didn't actually use the super typing of Sugar for this entire run, so you could definitely use that in the earlier stages if you need to, but I didn't actually use the Sugar special in the earlier runs, so we didn't actually get the chance to use that. But it's definitely a higher orb boost if you want to use it before the Sengoku special, but it also sort of weighs down as the Sengoku special can give you orbs matching, but in the same sense, you can use both of them as well. If you do find a way to use the Sugar special earlier in the run, definitely make sure that you use that super typing, as you didn't need it towards the end anyway. On the final stage against Eneru, now this was actually crazy. This was the fastest I've ever done mono quick against Eneru. It actually took me less than 4 minutes to beat this, and honestly, I do have RNG to thank for that, as I did get very lucky with orbs, but at the same time, I did still have a lot of HP. This team was still very, very safe, and got it done fairly easily. So on the second stage, this was wild. On the second stage, when we come up against the 3 Skypiea units, we're going to switch with our Shanks to get the attack buff, and then we're going to use our friend Sugar to turn everyone into bears. That way, once using our friend Sugar, we can get around that bind mechanic. As I mentioned at the beginning, I did really want to bring Komurasaki for some point in this particular video, and if you guys don't think that is bringing one team for all of them, I completely understand your point of view. I personally disagree. I think that the one team completing all of them is the team that you build, and bringing friend captains is always a luxury regardless, as you have the option to use whatever is there. So with the bears being available to us, we can actually take out Tweedledee and Tweedledum super easily just by using our normal taps of our bears, getting that chain buff, as well as having that crazy 2,500 attack, and move on to the next stage against Wiper and 2 of his Skypiea friends. So against Wiper and his Skypiea friends, we are just going to use the switchability of Shanks' crew to give ourselves some matching orbs, as well as an attack boost. We can kill the quick unit, as we did get lucky with the chef having the 2-turn cooldown, and that way we can take him out on the second turn. Now, as you can see, I get very, very lucky with my orbs, but you can easily tank a shot here on the Wiper stage. It's obviously not going to be as quick, but it is still very, very doable, as we do have a lot of HP. On the next stage against Mr. Ballman and not Pierre, they're going to give us 3 turns of special rollback, and they are going to put up 4 turns of threshold just on the guy on the ball. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to actually just use the super typing of Sugar, as well as the switchability of Shanks' crew, to give us a 1.5 times attack boost and a 2.25 times orb boost. Now, this whole team is actually less than 40 cost besides Shanks' crew. So as you'll see, we can actually take both of them out in 1 turn, which is just absolutely wild. Crazy that we just absolutely clapped them there. On the next stage against Gacha and Om, they're going to bind our bottom row, and they're going to bind our healing for 8 turns. Now, with Limit Break, we can get rid of that. And then they put up end of turn damage as well. So we're going to use... For some reason, I actually switched with Shanks here. Probably wouldn't switch with Shanks' crew here. Oh, actually, no, sorry. I switched with Shanks' crew here, as I do want to switch back into crew. As when you move into the final stage against Eneru, you do want to make sure that you are in the crew variation or the quick variation of Shanks. Otherwise, Eneru won't turn into the strength unit. So on the second turn, when we switch back into our crew, we can use our Shanks' crew special to get the 3.5 times chain lock. And then we can take out Om and Gacha. Now, on this particular stage, I thought I used the Bobbin special. But as you'll see here, I actually don't have good orbs. The only orbs I have are from the Shanks' crew switch. But just with that 3.5 times chain lock, we can actually take both of them out very, very simply. On the final stage against Eneru, we're just going to literally use the Sengoku special for the orb boost, use our Sugar special, turning everyone into bears, and we literally just 2-tap our boy Enel. Because we have stun, Sugar's bears don't care about stun, and with Shanks' amazing captain ability, we can remove the special blind. So there you guys go. That was one team, one quick team versus all the Garp challenges, taking them out easy peasy, I guess. No, not really. This was definitely the hardest of all of them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt that like button. If you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content posts, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. See you later. Loads. Thanks for watching. Bye.